Hey, you know what they say in the biz? TV without sound isn't even radio. Or something like that. Anyway, all you wannabe sound engineers should listen up. This next piece profiles Kirk Douglas, a guy who records bands and does stuff with mics and audio boards and woofers and reefers and, you know, stuff like that. I can't hear anything.
You gotta turn it on.
Oh.
I love engineering because I have a whale of a time! Are all sound engineers want to be rock stars?
Everything's gonna be alright.
I think a large majority of them might be. I don't know if they all are. I think a lot of them start out as musicians that want to be rock stars and then realize the harsh realities of being a musician. And then they find sort of engineering as a great fallback on it because you can still be involved in music. I think that'll never go away. I think I always want to be a rock star, deep down. A rock country surf star. My first exposure to sound mixing. I was 17 years old in my band at the time. And we went to the studio to record for a homegrown contest in Edmonton. And yeah, that was the first time I walked into a studio and I just went, wow, this place is cool. You know, all the buttons and knobs and lights and everything. It just seemed like a really surreal kind of place. And I couldn't get enough of it. And I wanted to do it, so I went and bought a little 4-track, and I thought, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. The first year of being an engineer, I think, is the hardest part, just because it's a big struggle to get anywhere. Having a good attitude helps a lot. Being assistant engineer, you'll get paid a little bit, $7 an hour maybe, $5 depending. But just to stick to it, and just be willing to do anything to get to the job. You know, I'll volunteer, I'll make coffee, I'll sweep up afterwards, whatever, you know. Because people notice that kind of stuff. They really do. Education, being an engineer. It's fairly important, I think. With all the technology you need to know, it helps to have a background in electronics or whatever, although it's not necessary. Being a recording engineer, let's say a band walks in and says, I want to record. You find out the instrumentation, you set up, you get sounds. You have to know mic technique, you have to know how to mic up a drum kit, you have to know how to get certain sounds with guitars, certain sounds with the bass guitar. You have to find out if they want to do something called ghost vocals, which means just singing along as a guide vocal.